Hi peeps, how is my tribe doing? How are you doing in your ascension? I wanted to come on today. I'm on my walk and I felt inspired to share something huge that happened for me this week. So I actually had a huge healing with my parents. Did not really see that coming, other than the fact that I did put it out there to the universe that, I said, it feels like, what else can I do, universe, to bring me to that place where I'm at peace with my parents? It feels like there's this one last thing that I just need to know how to turn that key so that I am complete. And kind of just threw it out there, forgot about it, and then sure enough, in my morning meditations, it came through. So I wanted to share that because a lot of us are like, hey, I'd love to be at peace with my parents. I'd love to heal that relationship, but I don't know friggin' how to. What do I do? What do I do more than I have already done, And so I was kind of at that place where I just see it for what it is, and it just, sometimes things just are what they are, and there's nothing you can really do about it or change about that person, and you decide if you want them in your life or not. But I in my morning meditation, and they happened separately, my mom and my dad, and my mom had several levels to it as well, but it was kind of this thing of just getting this perspective on how we all do the best we can with what we have at the time. It's a simple concept. And when I look back as to what they were dealing with, they were a young couple who married, like they were of that time where, they dropped out of college to get married and have kids, which is what a lot of people did back then. And they didn't have a lot to work with. They didn't have a lot of support. They didn't not necessarily know what they were doing. They were 20, and so they had me, within a year and stuff like that. So it was a lot of responsibility considering, what they had to work with. And they did the best they could. And they actually did quite a good job, I have to say, because that was not easy. And it seems like they had a pact, to make it a peaceful home. And so they did, pretty much, for the most part it was. And I'm grateful about that. And it was less than ideal in a lot of ways, but we only do what we can with what we have, and we have to honor that it's that way for a reason, and it shaped me and my brothers the way that it did. And so I do acknowledge and honor that now, and I actually am grateful to them for how they did make it easier than it might have been otherwise. Because, I think in this planet Earth, we almost like earn our sainthood, to be honest, with all the things that we go through and all the things that we're becoming, as we awaken. So I just wanted to share that because it was huge. I noticed I kind of had this connection with a friend of mine, a man friend, that after I did that healing with my dad that morning, like I saw my friend in a new way, and I recognized him for the first time. And it's like, oh, we've had past lifetimes. I totally know who you are. It was really interesting. And he's helping me with my move right now, and I'm super grateful. And just to have, there's a lot of blessings of just being connected with someone you're supposed to. He's like one of my soulmates. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that because sometimes it's feels like rocket science trying to figure out how to heal. And when we realize, wow, actually the person did quite well under the circumstances. That's all they had. That's the bandwidth they had. That was the level of evolution they were at, and they did really well. And it was actually all slated before we even went into living it, because that's, from near-death experience books that I've read, they said the same thing. They said everyone's actually doing the best they can with what they have. And that we choose our parents before we come in for a reason, because we're wanting to learn certain things. So anyway, food for thought.